Now the other thing with soldering, if you haven't done any soldering before, it's not the same as gluing something together. We're really transferring heat. So we have solder on our very hot iron. Then we need to transfer that heat through the wire to the actual lug we're connecting it to. And once that lug's hot enough, the solder will take to that connection. Essentially, if the soldering iron's hot and these elements are cold, the solder doesn't want to leave the iron. So just keep that in mind. You need to warm up your lugs for a couple of seconds first. Okay, so before we get into actually turning on the soldering iron, the first thing we need to do is run our pickup selector wires from our pickup selector cavity into our control panel cavity, which is just through here. Now, when you're wiring up an EXP style guitar, you need to do things in a certain order, and that's because we can't run these pickup selector wires through these cavities when the pickups are in place. So we need to get these in place first. So what I'd normally do is just mask off the end so they're easier to push through. And I generally come from the neck pickup cavity rather than coming from the pickup selector cavity. Much more difficult to thread from the other direction. And as mentioned, I've selected these colors. Black is usually used as a ground. Green is going to be my output from the pickup selector. And then I've got white and red. I've got a red wire coming from my neck pickup, which will coordinate with this red wire coming from the neck position pickup selector lug. You can see this is red also, but I'm just going to reference the hot wire inside. So the active wire in this case has white shielding for the bridge. The active wire on the neck pickup has red. So that's why I'm using white and red here, just to coordinate those colors, because once the pickups are installed, it's going to be difficult to know which wires are which. Okay, so I'm just threading those through. Once I've got those in place, I'm just going to mask those off as well so they don't come back through. And you can see too, these wires are long, and they need to be long because the Explorer body is quite long itself. The next thing I'd recommend from here is taking those 4 wires and combining them with the neck pickup wires. Masking those off as well, just like so, just to make it easier to poke them through the hole. Now there'll be a hole just to the side of your neck pickup cavity. Just push those wires through like so. And just make sure you've got that wire facing the right way, so the higher side of the pickup ring will be facing towards the back. Now from here we're going to pick up our bridge pickup. So you can see the bridge pickup sits here, the wire's closest to the hole in the bridge pickup cavity. I'm also going to try and tape this up. I'm not sure if the hole is going to be big enough to allow, but we'll see what we can get away with here. Okay, so now I've got all those wires connected. I'm just going to push them through that hole there. I'm just quickly going to install that neck pickup as well, just so we can turn the guitar over without having to hold 2 pickups as we do it. from here, just holding this pickup. I'm just going to tip the guitar over. And you can just see the edge of that wire tipping through there, so I'm wondering if I can grab that with the needle nose pliers. Okay, so now we've got our wires through. I'm just going to mask those together now, just so we don't lose track of which is which. So these are the wires coming from our pickup selector. This is our bridge pickup. These two are our neck. And last we have our ground, and that's the ground we installed earlier against our bridge, against the bushing for the bridge post. Next thing I would start